Today I'm going to be talking about why Chrono Trigger is a 4 out of 5 and not 5 out of 5 like most people say. Yes, it's a very fun and enduring game, but the issues that I myself experienced while playing it makes this kind of be a little bit short. For example, let's start like this. Chrono Trigger was actually developed in the 1998, if I recall correctly, so it's a very good year for games. And no, I don't think it's bad because of the graphics. On contrary, I actually like the graphics. They add a unique charm to it. As you can see up the screen here, it has a very distinct flair, and I personally like that. Now, one of the main issues that I did encounter though was the bad PC port. It was very rough around the edges, specifically in the controls department. Because I remember that in some, how do I say this? In some moment of the game, you need to press certain buttons. That way you can get ahead in advance. It's obligatory or optional if you want to be like that. And it does not work as I expected. It's very confusing. Like for example, I didn't even have the map until the final boss. Like, what? Yeah, you can blame me that, oh, you didn't look up at the instructions, you should have done so. But, like, I feel like something as important as a map should have been there. Especially considering when I wasted a little bit of my time walking around and trying to find it. Like, I even had to pause it and check for a gameplay just to find out where I should go. That's one of the reasons. The other reason I would say is because the story that starts a little bit slow. Yes, there's time shenanigans at the beginning, but if I'm being honest, I recall that up until when my favorite character joins the ranks, that's when it fully becomes a very great game. And you're probably wondering, who is your favorite character? My favorite character is none other than Frog. But why Frog? Why not the other party members? Well, for me it was simple because I liked Frog's story the most. Like, I liked how he was bewitched by someone and had to, live like a frog, an animal. And when you consider that the story takes place in a land where beasts are roaming, then it's not that uncommon to see him and confuse him as a beast. But his story progresses so much from being basically a retired hero as such, he's very recluse, to becoming the hero he was actually meant to be. He's there with you, the protagonist, and he gets better at being a hero. He gets more expressive. I think at one point he even cracked a joke, I don't remember that well. And that's what I like about him. He's like a monster, but in reality he's a hero, and you see it at the end of the game. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, we're still not done. In this case, the other thing I want to talk about right now is the music. I'm a very weird dude. Normally the music, it's either hit or miss with me. But in this case, I'm happy to say that most of these songs were, I did have some bangers there. For example, the very first that pops out in my mind will be the main menu theme. The one that starts when you see the cutscene, because it basically sets the mood for the whole adventure. Because you're going to have friends, and then you're going to face off against evil. You're going to have fun and do some shenanigans. The next one would be Silent Light, which is one of the first songs you hear that pretty much sets up the atmosphere for the rest of the game. And it's pretty dark in a way and mysterious. Well, it tries to be at the very least. Another one I like very much would be the Black Omen song, which plays near the end of the game when it's near the final boss, but not in with him per se. In this one, you actually get to feel the danger and how its impending doom is looming near, and that, well, you must act quickly, otherwise you're gonna get destroyed. Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but what I'm not exaggerating is my favorite song of Chrono Trigger, personally. It's played in a certain area, which I'm not going to spoil because you're going to run into this. Yes or yes. The End of Time. The song that plays during the End of Time, it fills me with intrigue, like a mother's embrace to a son. It warms my heart, it really does. I feel as if I was in the calm before the storm, or the calm after the storm. You never know. But very soothing to hear. And it's my favorite song. It stuck with me every time I played, and believe me, I still listen to it to this day a little bit. And all this incredible music would not be possible without Yasunori Mitsuda and Nobuo Uematsu. The man, the myth, the legend. Ironically, I already know Nobuo Uematsu because of Final Fantasy VII, the remake, that is, not the original. But that does not mean that I do not see the influence that Final Fantasy actually had with Chrono Trigger. Specifically in the combat, of all things. Since, you play in a turn-based combat. The twist here, though, I'm not too sure if any game did this in those times, forgive me. But the twist is that in here you actually do real-time turn-based combat. For example, you're facing against an enemy and you have a little bar that charges while you're waiting for them to move. And they can attack while you're choosing what move to do. You're not safe while you're selecting a move. That's a very nice twist because it kept me on my toes and I had to think on what I would need to do to either survive the hit or attack back. And believe me, I'm not done. The combat is even better in my opinion due to the skills that every party member has. It's very fun and unique, and the ways that they interact with each other was something I actually was not expecting. I'm genuinely surprised. For example, you can see in the footage that Chrono and Luca, one of the party members, actually combine their skills and they make like a little flame whirlwind of some kind to burn the enemies. I was pretty impressed when I first saw the combinations, and it only got better. There's 56 double combinations. There's 15 triple combinations also. I'm gonna put one here in which you can see a move that is pretty powerful. Like, did you see that? It targeted everyone. That's pretty strong. And believe me, there's more to come. Like I mentioned, there's like 15 combinations with every different party member that you'll definitely want to experiment. Now, yes, I admit, if this did not have the port issues and maybe the story was a little bit more fleshed out in the beginning, then yes, I'll probably give it a 5 out of 5. But it's still not one of my favorite games. It's memorable, yes, but I do understand and see why many people growing up said that this game, Chrono Trigger, was the best game they played growing up. Honestly, you should play it. Give it a try. It's very fun. You're not regret it. If you can play it on your cell phone if you wish, or not. If you're one of the oldies, you can use it on your DS. Either way, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.